Well, here's a quick follow-up on the whole VGC thing, because, well, I did just talk about the completely mind-bogglingly stupid decision to disqualify someone for celebrating. Sorry for being human, you absolute fucking bots who think that that's okay to be disqualified for. The first impressions of Pokemon Champions have come out, and I've never been happier not to play competitive Pokemon. If you know me and the Pokemon podcast, like maybe not Pokemon podcast in the future, but the podcast that I do co-host, you've heard my takes on competitive Pokemon. And guess what happens with Pokemon Champions? I have never felt more vindicated in my entire life. Pokemon competitive is a nice thing. Like, please, if you play it, don't get this the wrong idea. Please don't get this the wrong way. That's the way that I should say it. Competitive Pokemon is something that you can excel in. It's absolutely cool. It's one of the many ways that people can enjoy Pokemon. And if you do, honestly, all the more power to you. I do mean that. However, just because someone enjoys something, it doesn't mean that that's not a negative or even a bad thing for the media, the franchise itself. The absurd focus on competitive because it brings in so many viewers over Twitch, it brings so many people into a stadium like Worlds does. That is a poison for the franchise. And now this poison has seemingly been outsourced to Pokemon Champions, which might or might not mean that Pokemon Winds and Waves are not going to have a dedicated competitive Pokemon focus in them, which can only be a good thing, because if Game Freak doesn't have to focus on competitive balancing or competitive mechanics being in the game, then that means they can focus on actually finishing the fucking product. Can only be a good for us. Uh, anyway. And you wanna know the funniest thing in all of this? A guy that I have criticized on Twitter before, Joe Merrick, and that I have criticized in a video, at least one video before. Even he is coming out and saying that this thing is not good. I mean, the level of vindication that I am feeling right now is off the charts. I have never felt so good about the competitive aspect of this game, which I think has poisoned the Pokemon franchise irreparably, being in such a garbage state. And yes, I do gloat about this a little bit. Actually, no, a lot. I do gloat about this a lot. It just feels so. I don't even. I can't even find the word that I'm trying to use here. The whole thing is just funny to me. The whole thing is funny. Sure, it's not a joke everyone's gonna laugh at, but I find it extremely funny. And I wonder how many people are gonna get disqualified because the game doesn't work properly. Look, Game Freak isn't the smartest tool in the shed. Let's not put it past them that they would do something like that. Or maybe it's just another power hungry judge who does fuck all in actual life and is just there for Pokemon. Someone had to say it. Someone had to say it, and if I have to be the one, then so be it. So yeah, this is just a somewhat quick follow. Yeah, quick, absolutely. But yeah. So yeah, bye.
What up, bitches? My name is Onesie Burnett, and I have a couple of fucking things to say about Pokemon Champions. It is an absolute fucking disgrace. This game should never, ever have been released in the state that it's in. It is a 30 frames per second, glitchy, low-resolution mess of a game. It does not meet the standard required for a Pokemon release on the Switch 2 in this day and age. It is absolutely disgraceful that Pokemon felt that this was an appropriate thing to release. If they had aimed this as an early access game and been upfront with us and says, look, there's probably going to be quite a few bugs in this, there's going to be quite a few glitches, it's not going to have 60 frames per second, fine. But they specifically pushed it so that it would be the hub for the next upcoming worlds, for all future Pokemon content. And that to me is absolutely disgusting. Wolf Glick, on the first day of even touching the game, got soft-locked, had to walk around Italy trying to find mobile Wi-Fi to try and sort his game out. Mr. Pokemon himself, on the first day of release, got his game goddamn soft-locked. The resolution for this game is absolutely disgraceful. It looks pixelated, it looks blurry, it looks like when you convert a PNG to a JPEG. It looks horrible. And the fact that this runs in 30 frames per second on the Switch 2 is disgusting. I know they're probably working on a 60 frames per second patch, but I can only judge what is released on this day. I can only judge what's in front of me. And the fact that this game runs in 30 frames per second is absolutely atrocious. Scarlet and Violet has a 60 frames per second Switch 2 upgrade. Why was this not given the same treatment? Not even to mention the amount of bugs, in-game, mechanical, game-changing bugs. And Milotic used Haze versus a Mega Blastoise and got its HP fully restored. Encore, with Lightning Rod, does not work as it's supposed to. Leech Seed is titled incorrectly. And all of the items that are missing from this game, Bright Powder and Quick Claw from a competitive side, are in the game. So is Oranberry. That is fine. If you want to include them all, include them all. Why is only Choice Scarf the only choice item in? Where's my Choice Band? Where's my Choice Specs? Where is my freaking throat spray for Farigiraf? Why are all these things missing? This is an absolute disgrace. And the fact that you can't do 6v6 singles has killed an entire format of play. Draft League, my spiritual home, is dead. We can't do it anymore on the actual hardware, the thing that Pokemon wants you to play it on. They're trying to get us to migrate over to Showdown. How is an official Pokemon licensed title this incomplete, this buggy, this messy? And the worst part is, I'm still having fun with this goddamn game. There is absolutely a skeleton in place. Like, it works really well with the backbone of what's there. The skeleton is in place. The gacha system, surprisingly, is one of the least predatory gacha systems I've seen in any gacha game. And I've played a few now. I play Uma Musume quite regularly. That is an expensive game. I've never seen a gacha system that is so almost free. Like, you can earn a 10 pull, as it were, by playing like 3 or 4 matches. It's kind of insane how cheap the gacha is compared to other things out there. The ranked system works really well. It's really quick, really smooth, and the way that you can customize your Pokemon so quickly. Yeah, there is absolutely a game here. But from a technical, quality, performance aspect, this is not good enough. Sort it out, because I am not dealing with this shit for the next, 10 years. I can't go back to 30 frames per second. You can't fucking make me!